Hello, everyone. Welcome into Above My Pay Grade. My name is Eric. Still traveling, still out here in Wisconsin, but was reading something today that I thought was very interesting. Bank of America has come out with this new loan program that requires 0% down, no credit check, and no closing costs. Does this sound familiar to anyone? Sounds very familiar to me. Sounds like what was going on before the '08 crisis. The loans that were not contingent on your financial footing. Now, I kind of filter things, and correct me if you disagree here. I kind of filter I don't think banks are good people. I think banks aren't necessarily bad people, but they're a business. They're somebody who wants to make money. And so if you're doing something that doesn't make you money, that's virtue signaling, like this seems to be, that seems kind of dumb. So if you dig a little deeper, you might think to yourself, how in the world would a bank make money by loaning to people who can't traditionally qualify? People, because if you think about it, if you cannot make a down payment at all, if you cannot make closing costs at all, should you be purchasing a home? The answer is probably not. That means you don't have any savings. That means you don't have any padding. So if anything goes wrong with the house, you won't be able to pay for it. So on top of the fact that Bank of America is setting these people up for failure, I think Bank of America is doing this to make more money. They're doing this not to help people, but to pad their pockets even more. Because if you remember, banks loan money into existence. And so in an effort to pretend to care, they're loaning money into existence, meaning creating more revenue generation. I would imagine the interest rates are not very good on these loans. And at the end of the day, when you have things like payday loans, you have things that say, we're trying to help the little guy. They can't get ahead. We're going to have this loan shark mentality when it comes to the poor. It doesn't help them. And again, if you don't have any padding in your budget, owning a home is not a good idea. So, the flip side of this coin is, I think Bank of America has something to gain from something like this. And the taxpayers have something to lose, because if you remember back in '08, there was so much money being made because there was derivatives on top of the housing market. And at the end of the day, when people stopped paying their loans, when it comes to food and energy and housing, usually housing is on the back of the priority list if you already live in that location. Especially if you have things like mortgage forbearance, like we had during COVID. So when it comes to priorities, people are going to prioritize their basic needs before housing, especially if they already live there. No, housing is a basic need. They live there, they're going to work that system in order to not pay the mortgage. So my point is, in '08, there was so much money being made that there was alarm bells going off left and right. And if you've ever seen a movie like The Big Short, you might think to yourself, how did all these smart people not realize this? And I think money blinds people. If there's that amount of money to be made, you want to jump on the train while you can. And I think Bank of America is doing that again. When a bank comes out with a product, they will be out of business very soon if that product does not make money and it loses the money. So you've got to think to yourself, how does this product, this no money down, this no closing cost loan, help Bank of America? It will help Bank of America by having a very high interest rate. Probably have something in the clause about how many payments you can miss, et cetera, et cetera. Because they're not doing this out of the goodness of their heart. I'm not saying they're bad people, but they are a money-making organization. And if this does totally whiff of 08, it's the same thing, no and low money down, ninja loans, no income, no credit kind of loans, I think they know that the government's going to bail them out again. And I sense more desperation coming down the road as housing becomes more of a you got to be upper class to even get into housing. This is the kind of stuff that banks start to do. They start to get more creative with financing because they realize, and by more creative, it really just means at the end of the day more destructive, because if you can't get into the home through regular 30-year mortgage kind of financing, you probably shouldn't get into that home, like I was saying before. So they get more creative with their financing to help people get into their first home, and it ends up being a massive burden, and they can't pay it. And if it's systemic, goes throughout the entire economy, then you have a real issue. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Do you think this is shades? I mean, I don't think we're going to have the same kind of crash as 08, but do you think this is something that Bank of America is doing out of the goodness of their heart to help the poor? Or do you think they're making money in ways that where they can't normally make money? Because people can't afford homes, they're playing this game called we're going to help the poor by giving no and low money down houses to people, and we won't even check their credit score. It's a pretty dumb move by Bank of America, unless they're making money doing it. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Heading back to my house tomorrow, and then I'm traveling again. But appreciate you guys tuning in today. See you guys in the next one. Peace.